This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
And as I held her limp body in my hands, I slowly started to see the light fade from her eyes. So I finished the job myself with a nearby brick. And that's why I'll never drive with my knees ever again. Why did she have to go?
Are you clapping?
Oh, are we not supposed to?
Sir, this is a support group for traumatic experiences. Unless you have something to share, I suggest you leave.
Well, it's definitely not as bad as Shark Guy over there.
They also ate my family.
Jeez, what a loser.
Please, sir, state your name and your traumatic experience.
Hey, hello. My name is Ivan, and I got dumped by my middle school girlfriend.
What? How old are you?
25.
Security.
Ivan animated.
I wanted to break up, just not right now. This was a DM I got on AOL Messenger 10 years ago that still lives in my head rent-free to this day. And no, I didn't date a middle schooler, you weirdos. I was also in middle school, but that's besides the point. Let's take it back to the beginning. All right, let me just frame how long ago this was for you guys real quick. So the year's 2008, the All-American Rejects are playing on the radio, and you just finished the Bob's Journey demo on your T-Mobile Sidekick LX with the Tony Hawk faceplates when a message from the girl you've been crushing on for months pops up on your phone screen. All it says is, "I can't wait forever, Ivan." Oh shit. Okay, so I think everybody knows how this works. You tell one of your friends who your crush is, they ask your crush who they like, and then you cross-reference all the information on a string board like you're trying to figure out where all the Pepe Sylvia mail is going. And after weeks of doing this and talking back and forth, I'm guessing she caught on about how I felt, and felt the same way too. Also, your boy is notorious for not making any moves, so I'm assuming that's why she sent that message in the first place. So on that day, New Year's Eve of 2008, I asked my crush to be my first girlfriend. And she said yes. Now, okay, I know what you're thinking. Middle school relationship, that's gonna last like, what, a week? Maybe a few months at most? 2.5 years. We were together for 2.5 years. And honestly, for the duration of that relationship, I thought I was gonna marry her. Yes, I know, it's wild. Even in hindsight, it's weird to say out loud. We were so bent on staying together till marriage that I even got her a promise ring. And this wasn't some random ass ring from the mall either. It was the ring that my dad had given my mom when they were dating. So there was a lot of sentimental value here, but we'll get into more of that later. So as a kid, I had a very movie-esque outlook of love and relationships, especially since at the time I had zero experience with them. This girl was my first girlfriend, and I think that whole mentality kind of blinded me throughout the relationship. I want to say a majority of it was great. Fights were infrequent, and for the most part, we agreed on a lot of things. But there'd always be something that would bother me. Not enough to bring up, but also not enough to make me want to leave. All right, so here are a few examples. There were a lot of times where she would go out of her way to try making me jealous. And like, I get that some people find that cute or like seeing it from their significant other, but this was just way too frequent. She would do things like tell me how she's the only girl in a group full of guys, completely unprompted, pass her phone off to some of her guy friends in class while we were talking, just so they can text me and tell me that they had her phone, and then do other things like talk about all the guys that had a crush on her. And just to clarify, it was never in a reassuring tone or a way to be transparent about where she was or who she was with. It was always in a way where I felt like she was trying to get a reaction out of me.
Wow, I can't believe I'm the only girl again hanging out with the guys. They're just so much easier to get along with. You won't believe what Jason just did. He got me flowers the other day and won't stop asking me out. It's so funny. Hey, sorry. I gave Matthew my phone to talk to you, say hi, but I'm back now, so...
But because I was just so naive and new to all of this, I didn't really say anything about it. Like, I kind of just took it on the chin and assumed this was just something that happened in relationships and tried to ignore it. And something else that never really sat right with me was there were a few times she would make it apparent that she's had a lot of experience with relationships, and I didn't. Like, that's fine. I feel like everybody has that conversation about exes with their significant other, but this girl straight up gave me a number. 12. I was, according to her, the 12th person she's ever been in a relationship with. Again, flies have a longer lifespan than most middle school relationships, so even as a kid I wasn't too surprised, but something about being given a number always felt kind of weird, you know? And it wasn't like this was some one-off conversation either. This was something brought up multiple times. We even had a saying around it. 12 was always her lucky number. It was her jersey number for her basketball team, a part of her birthday. This number meant a lot to her. So being her 12th boyfriend, she would always say I'd be her last. And again, I get that we were young and this was wild to even consider, right? Like, this is wild to even just think about right now. But younger me was all for it. And I think what really sealed it for me was she was the first person to say, I love you. Yeah, that got me hooked. Because even as a kid with zero relationship experience, I knew that was a big deal. So she had to be the one. I cared about this girl enough to know that I wouldn't want anyone else. She'd be my first and last, and that was it. Okay, so enough backstory. How did we break up in the first place? So the year is 2011, and I had just started high school. My ex, on the other hand, was in the process of applying to a few different ones. And up until this point in our relationship, I thought we were good. We've had a few fights, but, you know, it's been a long time, so honestly, who wouldn't? And then, seemingly out of nowhere, she asked to go on a break. Aha, here we go. Which in the moment, honestly, caught me off guard. But after she explained it, it made a lot of sense. She wanted to go on a break so she could focus on her grades to get into a good school. All right, fair. I'll support that. What am I gonna say? No? I didn't say no. So the break lasts pretty long. I want to say at least a month. And during that time, we barely communicated, so I could give her the space she needed to focus. So one day, you know, I'm scrolling through Facebook while we're on our break, only messaging her if she messages me first, when I noticed one of her friends from school had posted a picture of her in a heart with another guy. And my initial reaction was, oh, that's kind of weird. Maybe it's one of her countless guy friends she's always talking about, and this is some funny inside joke. Until I scroll down to the comments and see her down there with a, shh, delete this. And bro, this is how I know I was down bad. Because I saw that and didn't think anything of it. I somehow managed to convince myself that this was nothing. They were just friends, and telling someone to delete a photo of you with another guy was just a quirky haha moment. Immense pain. And of course it wasn't nothing. I had found out months later after we broke up that they actually were dating. And apparently on our break, he wasn't the only one she dated. There were others. And okay, we were on a break. I get that. But we were on a break so she could study. All that time we weren't talking was because she was talking to someone else. And of course, being so naive and just assuming this was nothing, never confronted her about it. Ever. Freshman Ivan was so in love, he didn't see anything wrong with this. This girl is gonna marry me someday. Why would she want to be with anyone else? That was my thought process. I was down astronomically bad, and I didn't even realize. So the break ends and we're back together. No updates on the school or anything. Didn't even bring up the picture I saw. We're just together again. And honestly, things were great. Things were normal for a few weeks until 2 days before my 15th birthday. The same way she found out I had a crush on her years ago, I found out through one of our mutual friends that she was planning on breaking up with me. I was hurt, dude. Like, I didn't even know how to feel or process that information. But I gave it a day to think over, and then something in me just clicked. You know what? I'm done. Finding out she wanted to end things for good finally snapped me out of this weird mindset I put myself in, where I just assumed she could do no wrong. And that's when I really started to reflect on everything as a whole. The emotional games, the picture I saw on Facebook, the month-long break that went nowhere. So I messaged her the next day. Can I get the ring back? And that was it. 2.5 years straight down the drain. We met up, she dropped the ring in my hand, and walked away. Oh, but the story doesn't end there. A day later, after we broke up, I remember getting that DM. The DM I had read at the beginning of this video. I wanted to break up, just not right now. And that kind of just put everything into perspective for me. At some point during our relationship, I stopped being her boyfriend. And I became her backup plan. Someone she could keep around just in case she couldn't find anyone better. And that hurt. So I guess the moral of the story here is just because you're with someone for a long time doesn't always mean you'll stay together. And in spring of 2011, I found that out the hard way. But little did I know, 2011 was about to get a lot harder for a whole different reason. Alright, so sometimes relationships suck, breakups are really hard, so why not do something for yourself, like learning a new skill? That's where today's sponsor, Skillshare, comes in. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity, and also get over a breakup. apparently. Classes like improving productivity, improving your art, or even things like learning about photography, which I would very much be interested in. You know, for those post-breakup glow-up selfies. Personally, one of the classes I'm currently going through is YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit with MKBHD, hosted by one of my favorite YouTube content creators, Marquez Brownlee. What I love about the class so far is how accessible Marquez makes everything sound. I know making YouTube videos can be kind of overwhelming. I've been doing them for a while and I still get overwhelmed. But the way he breaks everything down makes it so much more digestible and manageable. And if you're looking to start making YouTube videos, or even if you currently make them, this class is a great way to stay motivated and pick up a few new tricks. Or if you're looking for something else, all the classes are curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. So, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. So make sure you click that link, and thanks again Skillshare for sponsoring this video.